Next, I'd like to welcome our 2022 Maid Mother of the Year, Patricia Clark.
Wow. Thank you very much. I appreciate the honor and feel that, as you said, all mothers should be recognized like this. My family, some of my family is here in the room. My husband is doing the Zoom, so my daughter in France and my daughter in New Hampshire can be here, share. And I'm not sure, I might have friends on here. And we have Ashley is here and with her mother, and I've got my sister-in-law and my great friend from across the road, and my priest is here. So I'm really excited. And it takes a community to do so. We have together, Bill and I have 3 daughters, and we have 4 grandchildren from ages 1 to 14. She's 14 now. And I got involved with children and teaching when I was in high school. I volunteered at a Head Start program in Plattsburgh, Nebraska, which is a long ways from here. But I really, really enjoyed doing it. And then, of course, I went into journalism. But yeah, I made my way back to teaching because I really missed being with the kids, and started in preschool and went on to get my teaching degree, and then I was teaching kindergarten, which I taught for about 17 years. And I realized that they were missing something. The kids who were coming in, their vocabulary scores were really low. Other scores could be too, as physical fitness, because that was years ago, but they weren't getting outside and playing nearly as much as we did when we were young. So I said, what can we do to help these kids to boost their scores? Well, I ended up working with Head Start and putting together one of the first all-day kindergartens in Maine for kids who were coming not just from Head Start, but who had a delay. Because I saw that the kids who were staying, they were with me in the morning, and they went into, say, a special ed room in the afternoon for special services, were coming out a lot more enriched than the kids who were just, we had half-day kindergarten. By the time you got their snowsuits off in the morning, and then put them back on for recess, and then got to get them ready, it was just, it took a lot of time, but I do miss them sometimes. And so we started developing this, we called it Super K, the program, and getting funding from out of state, a lot of funding. And also working with USM at that time. I teach at UMA now, but we worked with USM to test and have a qualitative as well as a quantitative measure of success. And the kids were that whole day, and it was a lot of play. It was different from the way it is now in kindergarten. But I feel sometimes we're pushing kids into reading too soon. I mean, the last year I taught kindergarten, I had kids who weren't even 5 yet, many actually, and they weren't ready. They needed to learn how to organize their bodies in space. Once a child is ready to read, they are ready. That bulb turns on and they're motivated, but their whole body has to be ready. And so we, worked in that area. And then I decided I wanted to go on, and I got the master's in special education. so that I could help the kids who it took too long to get them help. And it worked out to be really well. But then I decided, well, maybe if I could teach teachers, if I could get to them before they got into school and social workers, because I'm half mental health and human services and half education at UMA. I'm the director of early childhood studies, and so it's a big umbrella. And I like having mixed classes because the classes have, we have criminal justice people, we have people from library science, we have people from social, mental health, social work, we have people, and then we've got teachers. And so you get everybody talking together. And they're talking, even if they're talking online, because we have moved a lot of our classes online. But I decided that my platform was going to be literacy because I really feel that most parents want to do well by their children. They really do. But they may not know how much reading to them can help. I mean, we've got all these devices that can read to them, but there's nothing like holding a child on your lap and reading a book. It gives you goosebumps thinking about it. It's so enriching, and it's not just the book. It's the whole way of how they feel when they're hearing the book. They get to love books this way. And when I heard about this study at Ohio University, where if you read 5 books a day until your child is in kindergarten, that child will be over 1 million words ahead of a child who's not read to very often. That's a lot of words. And it's not just that you're talking to the child about the book, but it's also that they're hearing these new words that they've never heard before. They don't know them. So when they get to read, when they're in kindergarten or first grade, they'll go, oh, I know what an igloo is. But if you've never heard the word igloo, maybe you might be able to sound it out, but it's not going to be as meaningful to you as it is if you actually know what that is. And so we're reading books, nonfiction, fiction, all different types of picture books. I mean, the picture books are so cool nowadays. And so the kids, they take that in. You know how they're like little sponges. They take everything. Sometimes things you don't want them to take. Oh, you heard me say that. But this 1 million word gap, it's too much. The kids, they're coming in at such a disadvantage, and it's so hard to catch up. In fact, sometimes they just don't, because you think about the kids who come in with that 1 million words, they're going to keep on moving. They're not going to be standing still. And I just, I brought a book. I always start my classes by reading a book because you can give them a bibliography, but they're not necessarily going to look up those books. And I mean, I didn't ever do that. I love books. So I read a story having something to do with what we're covering that night. I say night because most of the people that I teach are taking courses in the late afternoon. And this is called Read to Your Bunny. And in my op-ed, I received permission from the author, Rosemary Wells, to use her words. She said, yes, she can do that, but I'd rather come and do it myself. And it's by Rosemary Wells, and it's called Read to Your Bunny. I'm not going to try and show you the pictures, but you can imagine what they look like. because sometimes kids need to use their imaginations a little more. Read to your bunny often. It's 20 minutes of fun. It's 20 minutes of moonlight in 20 minutes of sun. It's 20 old favorite minutes, 20 minutes brand new. Read to your bunny often, and your bunny will read to you.